Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Regenerative Business, the podcast for weirdo entrepreneurs and spiritual creatives who want to use the principles of nature to build a business that's abundant, aligned, and actually sustainable without selling your soul to get there. Of course, I'm Sam Garcia, and today we're talking about predictable revenue. If you missed the full training called Money on Repeat, this is a nice little taster on how to create predictable revenue that you can actually rely on. Let's get into it. I came into 2026 with $511,000 on the books, and that didn't come from me hustling harder last year. It came from decisions I made years ago about how money moves in my business. Now, this doesn't rely on motivation, virality, or constant launching. Instead, I've designed for systems on repeat and money on repeat. So I want to go through some key decisions that you can be making now in how you actually design your offers, design your marketing within your business. So you can also have this predictable revenue that you can rely on. Now, coming into 2026, and it's February 2026 now, a friend of mine mentioned, and this was at the end, so like December 2025, oh my gosh, I'm going into 2026 and I've calculated between my long-term clients and I have $90,000 on the books. And I was like, wow, that is so cool. And then a little ping in my mind of, wait, I should probably calculate that for myself. And when I added everything up of long-term retainer clients, payment plans, recurring revenue, if I did no launches, turned off all of my ad funnels, got no new clients, my business is still going to bring in $511,000 for 2026. And that is so fun to me. I didn't always have this. I have gone through phases in my business where my income was completely reliant on new sales, was reliant on launches. I had mainly short-term clients. And so let's look at some of these key things that you can decide on and plan for so this can happen for you too. Because imagine what can open up when you can go into a new year or a new season with predictable revenue, with money that you know is going to come in. It allows you to have a much more open calendar. It allows you to be able to do more creative risks. It allows you to hire or invest in things that you want to, versus having to make more money now to pay for things you've already committed to. A very different energy, right? So first of all, let's look at one of the key energies of this money on repeat. So there's a very common idea in personal finance. It's like the backbone, one of the key elements of personal finance. And it's the idea of investing for your future, investing for the long term with the thanks of compound interest. So without compound interest, if we look at you saving over time, let's say you're 18 years old and you're saving $100 a month until the day that you retire. So every single year, every single month, going into every single year, you are saving $100, right? And this, of course, if you're not spending that $100, it will grow over time. So the first month you have $100, then you have $200, then you have $300, and it starts growing in a very straight line. And we love this. It builds over time. So if this person saves $100 a month up until they're 60 years old, so for 42 years, they're saving $100 a month. At the end of that, they have $50,400. Yay. But I mean, hopefully you have more money than that when you're 60. Now, alternatively, if we think about compound interest, and this is what, if you're putting money into a 401k or a Roth IRA, solo 401k since you're a business owner. If you, instead of putting that $100 into a savings account with zero interest, you put it into the US or global stock market, which has a 7 to 10% annual return averaged over time. What happens is instead of having this linear line of growth, we have this lovely exponential growth because the money starts working for you. It starts compounding on itself. So if I plug this into a little investment calculator right now, the exact same numbers. So we start at 18, you save until you're 60, and instead of a 0% return rate, we have a 8% return rate. Guess what we have at the end of this? We have $378,292. Now, this person saved the the exact same amount of money. They inputted this amount, the $50,000, but because of the compounding effect of compound interest, where the money makes money in and of itself, the system makes money for you, they made $327,892. Now, why am I talking about this? This is not a personal finance video. That's not my expertise, even though I find learning about it very fun. What I wanted to illustrate is that compounding effect, where the person, they're doing pretty much the exact same actions, but instead of putting it into something that has linear growth, they put it into something that has compounding growth. The system starts making money for them, and we can do this in our businesses. Instead of investing your time and energy or your team's time and energy into projects that have linear growth that require more action from you, you need to start deciding and identifying the projects and the systems that compound on themselves. Now, because I wrote the book, Regenerative Business, we have to use some nature metaphors here. So let's talk about volcanoes, specifically shield volcanoes. I live on Maui, which you probably know is a part of the Hawaiian island chain, and the type of volcano that made the entire Hawaiian island chain is a shield volcano. Now, this is a type of volcano that builds up over time, where we have the middle of the ocean, and at the ocean floor, there starts being volcanic eruptions. And with each eruption, slowly over time, it's building a little bit of land. So volcanoes are one of multiple ways that the earth creates new land. And so with each eruption, over the course of many, many years, slowly over time, it's building and building and building and building until finally it breaks the ocean surface and islands are born. Now you can imagine, every time it's below the surface, below the ocean surface, it looks like nothing is happening, right? It hasn't broke through the surface. But actually, each eruption, each burst of creation, it is building upon itself. And then all of a sudden, what seems like out of nowhere, there's a freaking landmass in the middle of the ocean. So again, this is the energy of money on repeat. Yeah? This is the energy of you choosing intentional projects that build over time, builds upon itself over time, and starts compounding on itself. So there's 3 key pieces that I really want to have you thinking about today when it comes to building this predictable revenue that you can rely on. The first is on offers that repeat. So you designing your offers to be repeatable. Now, they can be repeatable in and of itself. For example, I launched an online membership in July 2025 called the Regenerative Business Ecosystem. That is a repeatable offer in the sense that when people join, it's a subscription, there's monthly recurring revenue, and with each new member, that revenue stacks upon itself. Now, if you watched last week's video, you know I don't think that memberships are for everyone, especially not at every stage of business. So if you're thinking about a membership, make sure you go watch that video. And luckily, there are so many different ways of creating offers that repeat energy. These can be long-term clients. For example, I have a high-end client that I've been working with for over 5 years now. Not that this client is locked in and they're committed for 5 years, but we've been working together for so long that it's very safe for me to be able to project forward that we're going to keep working together for many more years. And I've had those conversations with her. You can do this with actually designing your service packages or your coaching packages to have a longer container. So instead of 1 month of working together, you have a 6-month container or a 12-month container. You can also design this with longer term payment plans. So instead of just having a pay in full option, you have a 6-month payment plan or a 12-month payment plan, and suddenly you're able to project forward. Now, a really key piece of this for offers that repeat, especially if you're a spiritual entrepreneur or a creative in any way, please, please, please do not create offers out of whimsy or out of a passing fancy. I mean, you're welcome to if you want novelty in your business for like mini offers. I have an entire workshop on that called Mini Offer Madness that allows you to create this novelty in your business so you don't want to burn down the rest of your business. But I see so many creative entrepreneurs creating a brand new mastermind or a brand new online course pretty much on a whim with no clear plans of ever doing that or running that course again. And it just goes into their evergreen course graveyard. When you're creating new offers, think forward 3, 5, 10 years. Do you think you'll want to run that exact same course or program for the next 3, 5, 10 years? The way that I have been able to every year make more money while every year working less and less and having more and more time for creative projects is because I have offers that I launch and sell over and over and over again. I mean, I have like 4 courses and tons of workshops and mini courses. There's a lot of them, but I have the same ones that I sell over and over and over again through evergreen funnels, through repeating launches. And it takes so much less energy from me because it's already there, because I know that I want to sell them again and again. I designed the entire process with that in mind. So make sure your offers have that long-term vision in mind so that they can be offers that repeat. Okay, second piece of this is relationship building. This is a key element to any business that feels good in the way that business naturally is. It's human to human. So business is just relationship building. Marketing is just relationship building, going deeper and deeper into intimacy and connection with the people that you are here to serve in this lifetime through your business. One of the key ways that I was, again, able to walk into 2026 with $511,000 on the books is because I've built really great relationships. I keep showing up consistently in my marketing, the marketing channels that I've chose to commit to and show up on. I care about my people. I create things for them. I think about them. I reach out to them. Such a key piece of predictable revenue where you don't have to rely on these crazy manipulative launches or funnels. I do like launches and funnels. We'll get to that in a second. But the crazy bro marketing one where you're just like flushing people through to get as many eyes on it as possible just because you need as many leads as possible. The way that all of this stuff actually gets to feel good is leaning into that relationship building. And you already do that naturally. You already care. So consistency in how you show up online is an important piece of this. And also doing great work in your programs, getting people results so that they want to buy from you again. Whether that is in a membership format, whether it's alumni re-enrolling in a program or a client hiring you again, you caring, you doing what you say that you're going to do, basic relationship skills. Okay, so third element that is so important when it comes to money on repeat, predictable revenue that you can actually rely on is marketing that repeats. Now this can come in automated forms and systematized forms. I love them both. I use them both. If you're a course creator or a coach or you sell digital products of any sort like I do, you're going to be employing one or both of these. The most obvious one when it comes to automated, repeatable marketing is funnels. I'm using this term because it's the most common term, even though a lot of people I know get cringed out or go into a freeze response when they hear the word funnels. But all funnels are an automated way for people to deepen and go deeper into relationship with you. Or if we're talking about the regenerative business zones where your business is a separate ecosystem than you, them walking into your actual business ecosystem and wanting to hang out for a while. If we think back to our lovely volcano example or our compound interest example, one of these compounding projects for you could be building a funnel, building a way for people to automatically move into your business ecosystem and into deeper relationship with you. Another one could be, and you can do either or both of these, is systematized marketing. Now, for most course creators, online service providers, businesses that sell digital products, this is going to be online launching. And all that online launching is selling something, doing a promotion of some sort in a condensed period of time. It creates hype, and we'll talk more about this in a future video. But putting your energy into online launches is a project that can compound over time if you do them right. Big mistake here I see a lot of people doing is they do launches that they then don't ever repeat again because they're either offering something different that they've never done before, but we already talked about this earlier in the video. They don't have offers that repeat, or they don't actually assess the launches that they've already done to see what worked and what didn't, what could be repurposed and redone so that your launches are systematized. I'm planning a launch right now for March, and I'm going to be able to use probably 70 to 90% of stuff that I already have. That means that my launch is 70 to 90% easier than the last time I did it. Systematized marketing. We love it. Now, with all of this, I think it's really important to make sure that the maths. When you're thinking about offers that repeat and marketing that repeat, you want to have a realistic strategy for where you're actually at in business. When I started off in business, I did what most people do when they have zero audience of any sort, is I sold a done-for-you service, got really good at it, raised my prices over time because I didn't need a volume of people, a bunch of people to buy from me. I didn't have a bunch of people to buy from me. I didn't have cash flow to run ads and pay for visibility of a product that I had. So at the beginning, I was selling higher ticket things to a lower volume of people. And then slowly over time, and you can actually move way faster than I did because this is over the course of like 10 to 15 years, I sell a lot of low ticket things, under $100, under $1,000, to a much higher volume of people, because over time I've built an audience, I've built a following, I've built trust and relationship with people. I know my people, I know the messaging that works. It's all built up over time. That's it for today. If this episode was useful, the best thing you can do is share it with another entrepreneur who needs to hear it, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Next week, I have something special prepared specifically for my fellow neurospicy people in the room. See you there.